Coming up on Focal Point, President Stanley says goodbye to Michigan State.
The actions of the campus over the past month have shown the world that Michigan State University will not accept micromanagement by board members of the operations of this great institution.
And have you been waiting for the bus longer than usual? We'll tell you why.
Here, freshmen, and knowing that this thing's gonna be packed.
Will the Spartans finally get a win this Saturday? It might be a good time for a W because it's homecoming weekend too. We'll tell you how to enjoy it all. Focal Point starts now.
Hello and good morning. I'm Chloe Porfirio.
And I'm Joe Hicks. It's Friday, October 14th.
We're kicking off homecoming weekend, and it comes with shocking news from the very top. Yesterday, Dr. Samuel Stanley, president of Michigan State University, announced he will be resigning in 90 days.
Focal Point's Daniel Zivian is live at the MSU Administration Building. And Daniel, what's the temperature on campus?
Say it's a surprise to some, but inevitable to others. At around 11 o'clock yesterday morning, President Stanley announced his departure in a brief video. We have excerpts from that video, as well as reactions from a faculty senate voter and other voices around campus.
Many of you will be profoundly disappointed by this decision. But I, like the Michigan State University Faculty Senate and associated students at Michigan State University, have lost confidence in the action of the current Board of Trustees.
For the last 2 years, and particularly on Tuesday, a lot of respect has been expressed for the students at this university and for their strength in that vote, because that took a lot of nerve on their part. Because given the way the Board of Trustees is operating right now, they feel like they have power to do whatever they want.
It's sad and a little bit overwhelming to go to a university, a Big Ten university, without an active president right now.
So if our professors don't know what's going on, how are we supposed to know?
Well, I think it's sad overall. I think they should have been able to work together and figure out what they were really trying to discover in terms of the process of the professor that was relieved.
I disagreed with some of the things he did. He knew I disagreed with them, but I think I respected him, and I think he had a respect for faculty members who disagreed with him.
The actions of the campus over the past month have shown the world that Michigan State University will not accept micromanagement by board members of the operations of this great institution, and that we will hold individuals, no matter what their rank, accountable for their actions.
Now, you may notice that the MSU Board of Trustees play a central role in this conflict. But as I found out, not everyone knows who they are, let alone what's going on right now or that they're even elected.
There are thousands of potential voters at MSU, but do students know what they're voting for?
Not exactly, no.
I actually had no idea.
No clue.
I was not aware of that, no.
Wait, what? Off the top of my head, I have no clue. Probably not, no.
Which means that we have more work to do, right?
When young voters walk into the polling place, they'll be greeted with a ballot much like this watermarked sample. Now, they could just vote straight ticket and get it over with, or they could look just a couple columns to the right and see trustees of Michigan State University. 2 seats on this incredibly important board are up for grabs, and the students you just saw either don't know that the Board of Trustees exists, or if they do, they don't know what their function is. For recently elected Dr. Rima Vassar, the trustees are an eclectic group with a common goal.
From all our diverse perspectives, I think what binds us is that we all want the best for the university.
The overriding reach is we really try to move the university in a positive direction.
That's Pat O'Keefe, who was elected with Vassar. He highlights wellness and finances as 2 big priorities, but the board's powers are broad in scope.
So we tend to not be involved in the day-to-day operations, but however, things that pop with, processes, controls, policies, that does come under the strict purview of the board.
Whether or not we decide to raise tuition, right? These are tangible effects, not necessarily for every Spartan, but someone's going to bear that cost, right? So every choice we make, I believe, tangibly affect students.
At the heart of this is a fundamental difference in narrative. You just heard David Yuldson say that the board is acting beyond its power. But you also heard trustee Pat O'Keefe tout the board as having authority in processes, which would include the Gupta case. As Wallace Sayer once said, academic politics is the most bitter and vicious form of politics. Reporting live from the Hanna Building, I'm Daniel Zivian. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Danny. It's good that MSU students know how the Board of Trustees works, especially during election season. Let's not forget that it's homecoming weekend and we've got a lot of activities.
We've got a pretty packed downtown East Lansing with the alumni, and it's starting with the parade.
To kick things off tonight at 6 p.m., we have the homecoming parade that will start at the intersection of Abbott Road and Bertram Drive, heading south on Abbott Road, east on Grand River Avenue, back into campus, going on south on Farm Lane, and will end at the intersection of Farm and Shaw Lanes.
Following those fantastic floats, Michigan State will face Wisconsin tomorrow at Spartan Stadiums, and will end the week with a Sunday recovery at the East Lansing Farmers Market.
Don't worry, we'll recap some of the homecoming events at the end of the show. With so many people here for homecoming weekend, business is booming, and I'm always looking for a new place to eat, which is why I'm so excited about all of the options in East Lansing.
Focal Point's Destiny Shelley is live in downtown East Lansing with the latest scoops on some new restaurants and a couple of old ones too.
Thanks, guys. Some small businesses in East Lansing just couldn't survive the COVID pandemic. They had to close. But that's all changing now, starting with the opening of this chain restaurant behind me.
Pedestrians, nightlife, shopping, and food.
Having a lively, vibrant downtown that leads to direct engagement with our businesses.
Downtown is filling up with chain restaurants such as Raising Cane's and small businesses. But who ends up getting the bigger piece of the pie?
The grand opening is October 18th for Raising Cane's.
For Harry Sadis of Capo's Grill, it can feel like his business may be impacted.
They have endless pockets of money because they have shareholders and however they're doing it to grow their business. We don't.
He's owned the sandwich shop on Grand River Boulevard for a year and a half.
Having the impact of Raising Cane's and all these chains does hurt the small operators that are local because they give incentives that we can't give.
But there are some small local businesses that can't wait for big chains like Raising Cane's to open.
Maybe I'll put like another sign like on the corner or something, and then like maybe lead people in this direction.
Oneila Tiger owns DBN Boutique, the first black-owned clothing boutique in East Lansing.
When Raising Cane's open, I feel like it's gonna be like constant because that line is gonna be outrageous.
Matthew Apostle is an economic development specialist who helps lure businesses here in the downtown
Trying to figure out unique and creative ways to support both of our more corporate side of chains as well as our one-stop shop small businesses.
And help shine a light on many of these hidden gems.
We have a personality. A lot of the chain restaurants don't.
You heard it. The grand opening of Raising Cane's is October 18th. Other chains such as Jamba Juice and Auntie Anne's will soon be opening towards the end of the year. Reporting live in downtown East Lansing, I'm Destiny Shelley, Focal Point News. Chloe and Joe, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Destiny. For this Lansing business, the month of October is more than trick-or-treating and welcoming fall weather. Mr. Leslie's Cheesecakes, owned by Marcus Leslie, is using the next 30 days to give back to the community. Every week, a different group in the community is featured, including schools, hospitals, churches, and media. Leslie says money can't buy the feeling of homemade cheesecake can give you.
They can tell that it's someone in the kitchen actually taking the time to make the cakes. We hand press the crust. Our strawberry sauce is made right in the house, and everybody speaks good food. So I wanted to convey to them that we want to take our precious time, give you something that we love, and let you feel the love that we labored.
Leslie encourages the community to vote for each week's nominees by going onto Instagram and commenting or sharing posts. Winners are chosen on Thursdays at noon, and cheesecakes are delivered on Fridays.
Well, I know what I'm getting for dessert. Now I just need something to wash it down with, maybe some cider. Focal Point's Amaya Kuznicki is live in Hazlitt to show us just how a family-owned cider mill is making things work despite inflation. Amaya?
Oh, a trip to the local cider mill might be a little bit more expensive this year due to rising inflation rates. But this Hazlitt family knows how to keep their prices affordable. It's that time of year at Barkham Creek Farms.
And that's it.
Robert and Yana Barkham literally opened their front door for 5 weekends in the fall. For 8 years now, they fill their yard with pumpkins and the air with the smell of donuts and cider.
I came to school here to MSU to take horticulture, landscape design, construction.
But when him and Yana bought acres of land here,
Put a few pumpkins in, put them out at the end of the driveway, and we sold like $100 worth of pumpkins. And I was like, honey, next year we could sell 200.
I think it's in my blood, the farming part, that's why.
This family-owned farm had an excellent pumpkin harvest this year, but unlike the grocery store, their pumpkin prices are affordable. The money's not coming in as fast as the prices are raising.
when she's not in class at MSU, Tessany Burton takes folks on little adventures. She knows prices have gone up just about everywhere, but not so much here at the farm.
I think it's still pretty affordable.
Apples cost more this year. The donut mix costs more this year. So
But who could pass up on a donut here? Or bags of them?
no one's complained. No one said, oh my God, what are you doing? You know.
Just past Meridian on Hazlitt Road, visitors can't miss the big red barn and the orange pumpkins.
I mean, this really is an experience that is really affordable.
Barkham Creek Farms is open Thursday through Sunday up until Halloween Day, so make sure to stop by and get your fall fix. Reporting from Hazlitt, I'm Amaya Kaznicki, Focal Point News.
Thanks, Amaya. On November 8th, Michiganders will vote for governor, either incumbent Democratic Gretchen Whitmer or Republican Tudor Dixon. They will also vote for less talked about items like Proposal 2. Proposal 2 aims to protect and expand voter access. If you vote yes, it will be added to the Michigan Constitution. If added, it will allow registered voters to vote without an ID, increase the number of ballot drop boxes, and require overseas and military ballots to be counted as long as they are postmarked by Election Day.
Voting is critical to the integrity of our democracy, which is why our fundamental voting rights should be respected and protected in Michigan's Constitution.
Be sure to tune in into Focal Point for detailed coverage on the polls.
As election season is fast approaching, groups are taking action to ensure that members of Gen Z make their ways to the polls. On Friday, the Kellogg Center hosted the 5th annual Michigan Student Voting Summit. The event featured workshops, panels, and a networking fair. This is the first time the event has been hosted at Michigan State, and students and faculty from across Michigan attended the event. Landon Myers is the coordinator for the Campus Vote project. He says the main goal is to get information to students on how to cast an informed ballot.
Vote, it's important. We need to make sure our voice is heard, and we got to do it every election.
For resources, visit campusvoteproject.org.
If you're a student, chances are you've had to catch the bus on occasion. But if your destination was inside Frandor Shopping Center, there were plans to end that service. Businesses were worried that the bus stop shelters were attracting too many homeless people. CATA agreed and planned not to stop here anymore. But Frandor and CATA have agreed to keep the stops, but take the shelters and the benches away.
You know, I don't know if I myself would make the decision to remove them. I think maybe addressing the homeless situation and trying to help, like get them help, like would make a lot more sense than removing those shelters.
Advent House Ministry of Lansing has given Danny a bar and other store owners resources to help the homeless outside Frandor.
And as footsteps turn to bus rides this October, students will be relying more on CATA for their everyday travels to class. Michigan State seeing its largest freshman class of 9,800 students this fall. Bus lines and wait times could be higher than ever before. Students should plan on getting to their bus stops earlier than normal.
A bunch of people that are in here are freshmen, and knowing that this thing's going to be packed every single day of the week. But I mean, I only have one class to go to, so it'll be a little bit easier for me, I'm hoping, but I know that it'll still be crazy.
CATA said they're still in the process of developing their plans for the winter, and when it's finished, they'll be releasing it to the public.
October 10th was Indigenous People Day, and to celebrate, the City of East Lansing hosted an event to rename the Abbott Park. The new name is Azadaka Park, which means many cottonwoods. The park was renamed to recognize the history of the Indigenous people who have worked and lived in the Lansing area. At the event, many people embraced their native culture through song, dance, food. They were also planting seeds.
And letting everybody know that we are here together and we can all respectively reside in this community together.
The park renaming community welcomes all MSU students to stop by the park to pay their respects to the indigenous land.
Parties in college are nothing new, but what if we told you that you could control the music? City Hop found a way to do just that.
And you're looking at a live shot from our campus tower cam. As much as I hate to break out the sweaters and jackets, I think it's time. We have the latest in weather, all things and more coming up on Focal Point.
Know how to absentee vote in Michigan?
No, I do not.
No, I don't. I do not.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
As a college student, you have the option to either register at your home address back home or at your address where you reside for school. If you choose to vote absentee for this election, you have options depending on where you're registered to vote. You just have to make sure it is returned to your local clerk, your city or township clerk, by 8 p.m. on election night, and also prepare for that. So making a plan to decide where you're going to be registered and if you're going to vote absentee or in person on election day.
Welcome back to Focal Point. The North American International Auto Show took place in Detroit recently. This event is a car lover's dream. Focal Point's Marvin Pride gives us an inside look on the event and what cars really got people talking.
Window shopping and dreaming. Not just those futuristic concept cars, but cars that are just around the corner.
Anyone that has their eyes open can see that the world is going electric.
Of all the gleaming metal and shiny engines at the North American International Auto Show, the star of the show seemed to be the batteries.
As gasoline prices continue to rise, so is the rise of electric vehicles like this Mach-E right behind me. Many auto brands, though, are starting to move from gasoline power engines to electric power, and that's happening rather quickly.
The problem, though, for EV lovers like Paul Sugamelli is the wait.
I thought, okay, great. And so I was told they'll be available in the fall.
Paul ordered an all-electric Cadillac Lyriq back in May and is still waiting and doesn't know why.
What's the point of the marketing when I can't even get it if I want to? Like, it looks great. You've sold me on it, but I can't even get it.
And while Paul waits, it's a different story on the Michigan State campus. MSU bought almost 400 new electric vehicles in the last 6 months. MSU professor John Verbancourt works in the College of Engineering. He says thinking EV is fairly new in mid-Michigan.
Electric vehicles, particularly plug-in electric vehicles, only became advantageous in central Michigan and most of the Midwest, in fact, in the last 5 years or so.
It was electric inside this year's version of one of the largest auto shows in the world, and many of the EVs here will be on dealer lots by the first part of next year. From the passenger seat in Detroit, I'm Marvin Pride, Focal Point News.
Verbancourt said that by the end of the decade, we should be fully electrified with everyone owning an electric car. And is it going to be rain or shine this week? Focal Point's Elena Cousineau is here for you now with a look at your forecast. And she doesn't want to rain on anybody's parade, but winter may be on the way. Elena?
Yes, Joe, today has been pretty chilly so far here in East Lansing, and this morning you might have even had some frost on your cars getting up for work, but other places in the U.S. are definitely not even thinking about snow right now. Over here on the West Coast, temperatures are around the 70s to 80s range, but look right here in Phoenix, 96 degrees. The South also follows that warm trend with temperatures in the mid-70s, lower 80s. But the East Coast is staying in those mid-60s, closer to temperatures that we are seeing here at home. So let's zoom into the Midwest now. Temperatures are in the higher 40s to mid-50s, except as we go more south. Indianapolis and Pittsburgh at 60 degrees and Charleston at 75. Now to our current conditions, East Lansing, Grand Rapids, all in the higher 40s to mid 50 ranges. Here in East Lansing, we are at 50 degrees, partly cloudy. Over in Grand Rapids, 48 degrees, a 50% chance of showers though, so make sure to have an umbrella handy. To our 7-day outlook this morning, we started off at that low of 39 degrees, but since then temperatures have risen. Tomorrow, partly cloudy for the football game. However, there is a 20% chance of rain tomorrow, so make sure to bring an umbrella. Now, continuing throughout our week, temperatures remain in the lower 50s, upper 40s, and on Monday and Tuesday, there's a high chance of rain that could turn into snow early in the morning Tuesday. Now, that snow is not expected to stay long, though, as it could turn into rain during the afternoon. And then the rest of the week is partly cloudy, and highs are back into the low 50s. So this week might have those roller coaster days where you are freezing in the morning and sweating in the evening. So make sure to dress accordingly and bring a jacket to class. Joe, back to you.
MSU College of Engineering has announced a new center that is out of this world, and it will help students find jobs in a high-demand field. It is a new space electronics center, which will be focused in the College of Engineering and the facility for rare isotope beams. The new center will be working on microchips used in spaceships and centers. The center was created in the collaboration with Texas Instruments. One graduate engineering student says the center will be a great resource.
I felt excited. I felt even more excited for the new upcoming students.
It's an effort that we have been trying to put together for some time now. There's a very strong interest, both from industry as well as from the academic and research community.
For students interested in this experience, they should reach out to their college. And you've heard about dating apps like Tinder and Hinge, but what about an app that connects creators for projects? Focal Point's Alex Hill is live in the newsroom with more on an app that does just that. Alex?
Thanks, Joe. A recent MSU grad and a current student have teamed with Michigan State's Burgess Institute. They're creating an app for artists and filmmakers and actors and more.
Imagine, there are almost 9 million apps in the world, but Danielle Tice felt something was missing.
And for me, it was a creative community.
She thought there needed to be an app, sort of like a mini LinkedIn for creative people. Her business partner, John Hart, agreed.
Being a filmmaker and an actor for the last 4 years of college, I've always struggled to be able to find actors who wanted to consistently work, as well as crew members who wanted to really get on projects and take them seriously.
Now, how could she get these people together? Well, by inventing an app for that. She pitched the idea at a 36-hour pitch competition.
We did end up placing first, so we were like, this idea has something, right?
And won first place, $500. Crazy. Michigan State's Burgess Institute took notice and is now funding Tice's new app called Fellow.
I already have these ideas of, what our Fellow headquarters is gonna look like and what kind of events we're gonna do.
After constructing a business model, being accepted into a pre-accelerator program with Burgess, and receiving more than $5,000 in funding, a Lansing-based IT company called DewPoint is taking on the development of the beta app.
And if you're interested in making a cool album, if you're interested in making a horror movie, if you're interested in making a really big painting, there are people out there who will drop what they're doing to help you out.
Danielle graduated last year, and John is a senior this year.
I would say swamped is the right word to use.
But John and Danielle know their idea is becoming a reality, and that idea alone is getting them through the busy days.
After the app is launched and it's formed, I think we will see an exponential amount of growth.
Don't be surprised to be able to tap on this icon very soon.
Launch of the beta app is estimated to be in the winter. If you're interested in being one of the first people to use the app, sign up for the beta list on their website. That's hellofellow.org. Reporting live in the newsroom, Alex Hill, Focal Point News. Chloe, back to you.
Thanks, Alex. Imagine studying for classes on the beach instead of here on campus. Some MSU students actually had the chance to do that. Each year at the Study Abroad Expo, students can meet with instructors and get a taste of traveling to a new country and what that would be like. New education opportunities are always being added, aiming to provide you with real-life experiences that align with your goals. MSU offers 275 study abroad programs in over 60 countries, and students say it's changed their lives and they would go back again.
I encourage study abroad programs, not just to Mexico, because you get to learn about the communities that are there, right? The cultures, their backgrounds, their histories, and you get to learn that everywhere you go, people are different, and you learn to respect every single one of those differences because of who they are. So.
Michigan State has a variety of scholarship opportunities to help students with traveling costs. You can learn more by visiting educationabroad.msu.edu. College culture is often associated with parties and loud music, but for some students that can be too much. So where can students with sensory issues go for fun? Focal Point's Aaron Bowling went to MSU's Silent Disco to see how accessibility plays a role in campus nightlife.
Science makes the world go round, but on a night at the museum, things can look a little different.
Night is museum vibes, except it's a party.
Not your average party.
I think it's a lot better.
But a silent disco, where visitors control the music playing through their own headphones.
It was on my roommate and I's bucket list.
LeVar Harris is the CEO of City Hop, a silent disco company based in Detroit. He says the events are for everyone.
You can adjust the volume.
And draw large crowds for that very reason.
You can have sensory friendly and you can have a regular party. And you can bring all of those students together at once instead of having a separate thing and so on and so forth.
Natasha Miller helped organize the disco and says it's part of a larger series of events at the museum.
Bringing communities together on campus. There's a few different things that do that, one being food, one being music.
And if students needed a break from all the lights, music, and dancing, they could head right upstairs to check out the exhibits.
I know I have trouble with things that are too loud.
Like if I were to go to an actual party, I'm actually having more fun here.
For sure, more inclusive.
It's a lot more accessible.
Especially for people who get sensory overloads and stuff. That's usually why I don't go to parties.
Everyone seems to agree that a good time is about one thing.
It's the connections.
Bringing people together.
When you're just with a group of people and dancing,
it's super fun.
Aaron Bowling, Focal Point News.
Silent Disco was MSU Museum's first Friday event, where on the first Friday of each month you can head to the museum for a free social event. Next month's theme is A Nightmare in the Museum.
MSU students don't typically spend their Friday nights camping, but they make an exception every year for Tom Izzo and the basketball team. Focal Point's Elena Cugino takes us to the annual Izzone Campout.
Basketball is a huge part of the MSU experience.
We are a basketball school.
For junior Braden Furlow, the beginning of basketball season starts by looking up at the stars.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts last year. I know we got up really close to the stage and stuff last year.
It's called the Izzone Campout, the tradition where students camp out in chilly weather to help them find a seat in the warmth of the Breslin Center.
Maybe the feet will be out, maybe the feet will be in. We're just gonna have to see.
It's like scoring points. Score points at this event and you may get a great seat at the games.
After getting together last year and doing it, we got all lower bowl second semester. That was definitely a lot more fun than upper bowl. And we kind of had to keep our points, so we want lower bowl for all the games this year.
And campers say it's not just about getting the best seats at the basketball game, it's also about meeting new people and creating new memories.
Everyone's super friendly, everyone wants to hang out, whether it's playing catch, if anyone has food to share, playing pong, whatever it may be. People are all here to have a good time tonight, so it's a lot of fun.
The hundreds of campers in big tents and small.
Once we saw it in the store, we knew we had to get it.
Even got to visit with the players.
You get to kind of meet players, coaches, take pictures of everyone, walk around, and just kind of, it's a good time.
While some fans say this season might not be a slam dunk.
I know this year might be a little bit of a down year for us. I'm hoping not, but I know we lost a lot of big names last year.
They felt proud carrying on the Izzone tradition.
And I know it's going to be a cold night tonight, but it's a lot of fun.
At Munfield, Elena Cugino, Focal Point News.
The first game of the men's basketball season is on November 7th against Northern Arizona, and some students say at that game they're ready to be courtside.
And when we come back, we take a look at MSU's football's tough loss to Ohio State.
And a photographer takes us back in time right in downtown Lansing. All of this and more coming up on Focal Point.
I'm excited to complete my CSE project.
I'm excited for the World Cup.
I'm excited for my brother's wedding.
I'm excited to finally start being able to follow my dreams as an astrophysics major here at MSU.
I'm looking forward to going to Atlanta in a month.
I'm excited for going to Traverse City this weekend with my boyfriend.
One thing I'm looking forward to is definitely graduating in December.
I'm excited for the Lions game this weekend.
I'm excited for Halloween.
I'm excited for fall break.
I'm looking forward to being a news anchor one day.
This year I'm excited for the new MSU roller hockey goalie.
I'm looking forward to the holidays.
I'm excited for the leaves changing. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Back to Focal Point, I'm Anna Mizorowski with the latest in MSU sports. We start with the football team that lost its 4th game of the season against the Ohio State Buckeyes. We start in the first quarter after Ohio State got an early lead, but C.J. Stroud's play-action pass gets intercepted by Charles Brantley, and he takes it 32 yards for a pick 6 to tie at 7-7. Ohio State would answer back just 39 seconds later with the 69-yard pass from Stroud to Emeka Egbuka. Ohio State rolled through the rest of the second quarter as Travion Henderson rushed for a 1-yard touchdown to extend the lead to 15. Ohio State would go on to win 49-20.
But that's what we're doing behind the scenes right now. So, we did do some good things in the game. But not enough. We have to be able to, offense, defense, and special teams, we need to be able to string several good plays together, several positive plays together in a row to be able to be successful. And that's what we haven't been able to do on a consistent basis.
The Spartans hope to turn things around on homecoming weekend against Wisconsin. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. on Saturday. It's never good when the MVP of the team is the punter, but Bryce Behringer is on pace to set a new NCAA record. He won the Ray Guy College Punter of the Week for his efforts against the Buckeyes.
I just try and treat it as if, I have the chance to maybe play at the next level. So I'm trying to take every practice rep, every game rep as if I'm a pro. Taking care of my body, that's played a big role. I'm really not as banged up as I have been in the past years maybe. Really just working with our training staff, with our special teams unit, we're doing a good job.
If he keeps his pace, he'll set the NCAA record set last year by San Diego State's Matt Ariza. Now over to the ice, the hockey team played the first of a 2-game series against UMass Lowell last night. Head coach Adam Nightingale took charge of his 3rd official game as a Spartan. Miroslav Muka got the Spartans level at 1-1 with a deflected shot. Muka put the team ahead moments after with a long shot from the right, scoring his first 2 goals for MSU. Christian Krieger made it 3-1 at the end of the first period, cementing a 2-goal lead. The Spartans went on to win 4-3 after a penalty shot from Tanner Kelly sealed the deal against UMass Lowell.
For the guys, because we did a lot of good stuff. There's stuff we still got to get better at, and that's a really good hockey team, for our team to stick with it. We were proud of them, but now we got to move on to tomorrow.
The 2007 National Championship team will be honored between the second intermission during tomorrow night's game. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. The women's soccer team is inside the nation's top 25 ranking for the first time since 2009. The Spartans grabbed their 11th win of the season against Indiana last night thanks to an early goal by midfielder Zivana Lebovic. They traveled to Northwestern on Sunday. On the men's side, captains Jack Back and Will Perkins led MSU to its 5th win of the season, defeating St. Mary's 2-1 on Tuesday. They host the Rutgers on Sunday at 2 p.m. That's what's happening in sports this week. I'm Anna Mizarowski. Chloe, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Anna. All this sports talk is getting me really excited for homecoming weekend. Fingers crossed the Spartans get a win tomorrow. Can you imagine how many pictures are going to be snapped? The process of taking a picture on your phone takes about a second. Well, imagine it taking 2 hours. Focal Point's Isabella Martin tells us about a photography technique from the 1800s alive and well in Lansing. It's our Friday Focal Point finale.
It's like Stephen Glynn is working in the dark ages.
You're starting from scratch every single time you make an image.
Or at least the 1800s.
You can't prepare in advance. If you want to make a photo, you do all the steps each time.
It takes speed and patience.
To complicate things even more, you only have a few minutes to do it before it dries out.
It's called tintype photography, a 2-hour process to get just one picture. Stephen's camera isn't just point and shoot. He has to coat an aluminum plate perfectly with collodion and
like spin around the back.
He has to frame his subjects, believe it or not, upside down.
Right.
It isn't just taking a picture though. It's a craft.
My camera does nothing for me. I do everything. And I think people pick that up. They say like, I don't even know how to begin with this.
Stephen really doesn't do this, all of this, for himself.
I'm essentially creating heirlooms for people.
He does it so other people can experience it.
The reverence for what's happening here, your image, your moment in time is being captured forever on this tin plate.
Being able to hold the art, being able to hold your photograph, I think is something that's really special.
All it takes is speed and patience.
For Focal Point News, I'm Isabella Martin reporting.
An heirloom of yourself, you can visit Stephen's website at sglynnphoto.com to book a session.
That's all we have for this week on Focal Point. Don't forget about this weekend's homecoming parade at 6 p.m. in downtown East Lansing.
And don't forget MSU's homecoming football game tomorrow at 4 p.m.
For all of us here in the studio, I'm Joe Hicks.
And I'm Chloe Porfirio. We leave you now with the sounds of the MSU Wind Symphony. Have a great weekend.